Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for video number 2 on your Friday afternoon, August the 15th, 2025. Thank you all for watching right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe right now, motherfuckers, to this channel, my other channels as well. Share the video all over the internet. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to hit that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you miss anything, you need to get slapped in the face. Because you're SOL. And you know what that means. And if you don't know, look it up, you fucker. And that's that. Simple to the point. Alright, no big fancy intro. Because I am... By the time you see this video, I am in Jersey. Rocking out with my cookoot and all that other good stuff. But we move on. Alright, before I hit the road, it is time on video number 2 for your late, so out of fucking date before we get to SmackDown later tonight. It is time for your late Monday Night Raw review from August 11th, 2025. And we are from the Videotron Center in Quebec City, Quebec, that shithole province of Quebec. And from Monday Night Raw. And our commentary team, as always, Michael, Cole, and Corey Slave. Alright, we're getting closer and closer to Clash in Paris. 2 weeks from Sunday. So we got a lot of matches still happening. We were supposed to get Naomi and Io for the women's world title, but Naomi they got scrapped because Naomi wasn't medically cleared. We still don't know what's going on with Naomi. A lot of speculation of what's going on. People saying it's not as serious as it looks. People still think that big Jimmy Uso, forgot to pull out at 2. And Naomi's pregnant. Naomi might have an undisclosed injury we don't know about. Who knows what's going on with Naomi and the Raw Women's Championship right now. But they kind of have a backup plan with Io and Mommy and the other hot women on the Raw roster. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Alright, so I'm going to give you a little bit of dots. Not thought, like, whore thought, but thoughts off the top of the dome. We'll get that. Alright, so we started off with a long as fuck recap of the end of last week's show. We saw Seth freaking Rollins and the Vision, his little group of B&B Security, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, destroy Eli Drake. Our tribal chief, put up your ones, please, in the comments. Put up your ones for our tribal chief, the OTC himself, Roman Reigns, and Punky Brewster himself, CM Puke. Alright, so we got that. And that's it. Alright, so we start off with CM Puke. Look in my eyes! What do you see? A guy that's barely on TV. He's a piece of shit! What a hot-ass wife! Who really needs to come back? Okay, I'm not gonna say. Whoa! Okay, stop. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on. Alright, CM Punk gets us going. Talks about how he has a big, huge Seth freaking Rollins problem. And Seth's trying to be him, but can't make it work because nobody can be the best in the world. Punk says, I should be world champion like I was at SummerSlam, but you lost in like 3 seconds, basically. Of course, if you got Mr. Money in the Bank. But you should know, because you did that a couple of times. But anyway, so Punky says, I'm going to be the champion again, and I'm going to take it from Seth freaking Rollins. But that's not all. I'm going to break his legs. Damn, that sounds very sexual and violent, but come on. Alright, and then, Eli Drake. That's an insult. That's a fact of life. Yeah, he comes out, shakes hands with Punk, even though they had a little bit of a tussle at the end of last week's show, which was not seen on air, obviously. Roman had to like, fuck these guys. So he shakes hands with Punk, but reminds Punk, no, you got involved in my title match with Seth. You know, you couldn't help yourself. And then he's like, I'm fine with you getting revenge on Seth, but you need to get over it after the bell rings. You can have your rematch, Punky Brewster, but, if you win the title, I get first dibs, basically. And Punk thinks that, what Eli's saying, or looking for, thank you, because I saved your ass after Rollins stomped you into the concrete like a coconut. Okay. So then Punk points out that Eli, not a former champion, and then Eli says, well, as you said before, there are levels to this, and you're not on my level there, Punky, and I want to keep the two of us problem-free. So he's like, Punk, do me 2 favors. 1, I'll forget about last week, and 2, I'm going to win the world title and I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to give you the first shot at my title. So Punk's like, alright, I'll let bygones be bygones, because I'm still the best in the world. And then, ladies and gentlemen, and Punk's like, I wasn't done yet! So, my name is Paul Heyman, the Walrus, the Oracle. He comes out with B&B security, says some stuff in French, which pissed off the crowd, and he mocks the crowd, why not? He wants Eli not to get in the favor-sharing business with Punky Brewster because it could cost you all kinds of things, from half your life in your tribal chief, from Roman reference. And then Punk's like, shut up, Paul! And he offers a fight either of a B&B security, and then the challenge is made, and then we get a tag team match, player! With Teddy Long, player. And, so at the main event, we got B&B security taking on Punky Brewster and Eat, Fight, Drink. And that's not an insult, that's a fact of life, yeah. And that's all, pretty much it. Alright, after that, we gotta look at not 1, not 2, but 3 El Grande Americano showing up, helping Dominic Guerrero essay last week. And we all know that's Ludwig Spears, El Grande Germanicano, and then Pete fucking Dunne, the El Grande Bruiserweight Americano, whatever you want to call him, and then Tyler Bate, El Grande Quads, basically. So we got that, and don't forget, the Ludwig Spears is in that fatal 4-way match tomorrow night at Triple Mania with El Hijo de Vikingo, Dragon Lee, and Dom Dom to see who wins the Triple A Mega title, and it could go to Ludwig Spears. I mean, El Grande Americano, because they're really pushing him right now. So, I mean, we'll see. I'd love for Dom to win it, but I don't think so. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, speaking of Ludwig Spears, he comes into the Judgment Day Clubhouse with Dom Dom. And then Finn Balor takes Dom aside and says, we could really use this guy to help you win the Mega title at Triple Mania. As there's two, you forgot there's 3 other guys? Anyway, so Dom Dom likes that idea and tells Ludwig Spears that they need to get to the ring. And then we see Ludwig, throwing darts in the background, which I thought was hilarious. Do the darts, Sissy! Okay, we get that. Alright, we move on. Alright, then we get to this tag team match with El Grande Germanicano and Dominic Guerrero, S.A. the IC champ, taking on Dragon Lee of LFI, the LWO, excuse me, and the phenomenal AJ Bad Hair Styles. Alright, back and forth match they went. The other 2 Germanicanos come out. Obviously, you knew that was going to happen. And then Dom Dom gets his own mask, loads it with that steel thing, he uses the headbutt, and he headbutts AJ with it. And then El Grande, Ludwig Spears gets the win after a fruit roll-up. So, Dom Dom and Ludwig Spears get the win. And, that's pretty much it. And that's that. Alright. Then we see a video of Sammy Lame. Let's go! In his, pretty much his home country. Well, he was in Montreal last week. And actually on Friday Night SmackDown last week. Now he's in Quebec. He meets up with Adam Pearce, who says there might be some world title discussions in your future if, and only if, you can beat Alexander Rusev. Rusev smash not a pussy! Yeah! Alright, and then Sheamus, fella! He comes in and is told he and Rusev can't break down again. They can't fight anymore. But that doesn't work for Sheamus. But then Sammy says, can you just, like, cool down for a little bit? I mean, as a friend, can you just, like, don't come out for my match later? So Sheamus reluctantly agrees. But then, okay. So Sheamus agrees, but he says after the bell rings, Rusev is mine. That sounds sexual. All right, move on. All right, then we go to my favorite part of the show. My third amazingly hot Asian wife, Io Sky. She's disappointed in not getting her title match with Naomi, and then Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, the women's tag team champs, come in and say, "Hey, Io, that means you can't lose again." So then Io gets rightfully pissed and says, "I fight you instead! Ha!" And then Adam Pearce is just right there and says, "You know what? I'm gonna make that official. Get to the ring." I was like, "Sucks to be you, Roxy. Ha!" Next time, close la boca. Let me move on with that. Alright, there we get to Sammy Lame and Rusev. Good match, bad ending. And we got this a lot during Raw. Lots of DQ finishes for no apparent reason. So Sammy goes for the hell of a kick, loads it up, but then the MFTs come out. Soto Mibuki, Hikurio Talatanga, Tangaloa come out, JC Mateo, they all come out, pull Sammy to the outside for disqualification, and then they beat him down after the match, and then referees try to stop it, but then Sheamus fella, he jumps Rusev and then brawls into the crowd, and then all through the rest of the night, I was like, jeez. Alright, so we go to break, we come back, Adam Pearce tells the MFTs, "You are gone to the building, get the fuck out of here." And then he gets on his phone and starts yelling at Nicholas Aldis for the MFTs coming to his show. And then the new day of Xavier Woods and the birthday boy, Kofi Kingston! Birthday's today, I believe. Happy birthday, Kofi! You're Jamaican me crazy! Anyway, and I did it, Grayson Waller, they come in to complain about Pentagon Zero Miedo. Basically ripping apart Xavier Woods' Kung Lao hat last week. And they say Pentagon should be banned from wearing hats. That's gonna happen. So Adam Pearce says, "I got no time for you guys. So I'm making Pentagon versus Xavier Woods for this coming Monday night." And Pearce says, "I need a drink." Psh. Shit. Hard being the GM, huh? Adam Pearce, you bastard. You need a stiff drink. Alright, we got that. Alright, Big Bronson Reed talks about earning Seth Rollins' respect, which earns his way into the division. He's taking out Roman, he's taking his shoes, not once, but twice, and promises to do it again, and add to his collection until Roman acknowledges the tribal thief. Oh, really now? Alright, you want to get your butt kicked so bad at Clash in Paris, Roman will arrange it to get his shoes back. Alright, we got that. Alright, then we got my first and second amazingly hot Asian wives. We got Asuka. Nobody is ready for Asuka, suck my dick. And the lovely pirate princess herself, Kairi Sane. They offer to keep things civil and even with Io and as she takes on Roxy, but then Io says, "Please do not help me. I do this myself. I got this." And alright, so Asuka and Io and Kairi are like, okay. Alright, so we get to the match, but Cal Rodriguez at ringside. And it was okay until Io goes for the over the woo, so it hits Ray's knees. Raquel Rodriguez gets on the apron, and then Asuka and Kairi get on the other side of the apron. They hold Roxy for Io to go after, but Io accidentally hits Asuka. Oops! And then Roxy rolls up Io with a handful of dong, basically, handful of undies, and steals the win. Fuck! In under 15 minutes, and that's it. And then later on, Io meets up with Asuka and Kairi, and Asuka's trying to play peek. Io is pissed, and Asuka's like, "Don't put the blame on me." And then Io's still going on and on and on and on, and then next thing you know, Asuka, baka, basically to Io. I'm like, oh, here we go. Asuka, Io at Clash in Paris. Sign it. Let's go, Adam Pearce. Sign it. We get that, and then later on, Io talks to Mommy Rhea Ripley, who feels like she's the reason why Io, Asuka, and Kairi are kind of at odds. And then she's like, "I'm sorry, I got involved with your friends and everything." And then Io says something in Japanese, and then she's like, "Stay out of my business!" I would. Get out of her shit, Mommy. Go do your own thing, please. And that's that. So we'll see what happens with all that. Monday Night on Raw. Alright, moving on. Alright, then the G-Man Jay Uso is back after getting his butt handed to him the week before. He wants his rematch. I think with Seth, I forget with who. But anyway, wants his rematch, but then Eli Drake interrupts, saying, "Hey, the line starts behind me there, Yeet Man." And then G Uso's like, "Yeah, okay. Right." So we'll see what happens with that. Did I mention Io and Asuka shoving each other? And then Kairi's like, "The bell rang," And we get that. Alright, then we go to, the man! Becky Lynch defending the Women's Intercontinental title against Maxine Dupree, who had Alpha Academy out with her. That's Otis and the big fat man, Otis, and Suzawa were there too. I think Natalia was actually out there, the boat. It's the best of all time. Give it to Maxine. She gave Becky a little run for her money. Not a big run, but it is what it is. Eventually, Becky rolls up Maxine for a near fall while holding the ropes. That gets reversed into the disarmer. And Maxine tapped out really quickly in 5.5 minutes. So Becky retains the belt, but then Natalia comes to check on Maxine, gets kicked down by Becky. So that means Becky's going to defend against Natalia, most likely at Clash in Paris. And I could care less. Alright, moving on with that. Alright, after that, Seth freaking Rollins gives B&B Security a pep talk before the main event, telling them to stack some bodies because I'm getting out of this fucking hellhole. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Seth. Quebec is a horrible province. Get out. That's that. Alright, then we see a weird video for Bayley! Give me a hug. Basically, she's reached the point of no return, and everything she's done has gotten her nowhere, and she's like having this mental breakdown. She hears voices in her head. They count to her. They counsel her. They come to whatever. Basically, she's having Randy Orton visions, basically. So, I don't know if she's turning heel, she's turning psychotic, I don't know what's going on with Bayley. But I'm interested to find out what happens. We'll get that. Alright, then, the lassie bitch from Ireland, Lyra Valkyria, isn't taking the blame for what happened to Bayley because Bayley cost her the belt. at the last show. So we got that. Alright, then, like I said, we see, EO getting mad at Mommy Rhea Ripley. Even La Primera Stephanie Vergara offers her apologies to EO. He says, I'm sorry you did not get title match. I was looking forward to beating you. Or something like that, right? So they have fought before, but it was a no contest at the end. It sucks. But what are you gonna do? And that's that. Anyway. So we got that. Alright, then we go to the main event. B&B Security taking on Eli Drake and CM Puke. Paul Heyman at ringside. And as you would think, we get another fucking DQ, which made no sense. As Punky Brewster got the hot tag, barks a bit, thinks he's Braun Breaker. Then suplexes Braun, and then all four men are in the ring. Eli takes Bronson out on the floor, leaving Punky Brewster hit that Macho Man elbow, yeah, dick, on Braun Breaker. Then he loads up the GTS, but then Seth freaking Rollins comes in for the DQ. And that's that. And then after the match, 3-on-2 beatdown until Jey Uso makes a save with a chair. And then Adam Pearce comes out, says, I see what you're trying to do there, Seth. You're trying to make an opportunity, give opportunities to these three gentlemen, so I'm gonna do something that you're not gonna like. At Clash in Paris, you will defend the World Heavyweight title against Jey Uso, Eli Drake, and Seth knew it was coming, CM Puke in a fatal four-way match. And Seth's like, no! And Heyman runs right up to Pierce. I'm like, that's official. All right, so fatal four-way match for the world title at Clash in Paris. I think Seth will retain. I just have a feeling, but I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, that is it for SmackDown. That is it for Raw. Raw was meh. Still meh. So I gave it 6.25 out of 10 stars, and that's pretty much it. All right, guys. By the time you see this, I'm on the road, so have fun watching SmackDown tonight. Have fun watching Emergence! Or Emergency tonight, as Easter would say. So have fun tonight watching that. And I'll see you guys on Sunday with your SmackDown and Collision review. We'll talk about TNA Ring of Honor, which had an extra episode tonight. Interesting. I'm not going to talk about that, but we get that. So Sunday night, we'll talk about SmackDown and Collision, not in separate videos. And then early Monday afternoon, we'll talk about TNA Ring of Honor. And then Monday afternoon before Raw, we'll talk about Triple Mania results and Emergence results on my TNA review as well. So that's that. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I'm gonna have fun in Jersey. Winning, hopefully, a lot of money, so I don't have to talk to you people anymore, but, you know, I doubt it, but we'll see. And then tomorrow night, this mighty band, in this moment, finishes off their Hell Hath No Fury tour. It's gonna be epic. I can't wait. Doing sound check with them. Gonna be on the side of the stage with them. It's gonna be epic, and you're not gonna get any proof that I'm there. So, fuck you, everybody that's obsessed with me, and thinks I'm not gonna be there. I have to pick up the tickets when I get to the hotel later, so fuck you. Fuck you, and oh yeah, fuck you. And that's that. Alright guys, I will see you on Sunday, but until next time, rock on! And if you're not down with that, fuck you, man. Peace.